Tomorrow, 25th of February 2023, Nigerians will go to the polls to elect their new president. And of course, work has started way beyond that time for particularly the vulnerable groups, and I'm talking about persons with disability. As you can see, this is the situation room of the Inclusive Friends Association, where data will be gathered about the ongoing election, which starts tomorrow. But of course, work is already here. Now we'll be taking a walk into the press conference for us just to be briefed, and of course the media to be given an update about what would actually happen right here for the election, presidential election 2023 in Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, once again you're welcome to the Inclusive Friends Votability Pre-Election Press Conference today on the 24th of February, the lead up to tomorrow's general election. In compliance with the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 and the Electoral Act 2022 as amended, the Electoral Commission commits efforts to provide assisted materials for persons with disabilities to ensure an independent voting process for persons with disabilities in the 2023 general election. And the various things that are the various assisting materials that will be deployed are the magnifying glasses for persons with albinism and low vision, the Braille ballot guide for blind voters, and the Form EC30E PWD poster for the deaf voters. The Votability campaign is a disability rights movement led by the Inclusive Friends Association for Nigerians over 30 million persons with disability. The goal of the campaign is to increase the participation of persons with disabilities in Nigeria's political and electoral processes and ensure that the full implementation of the 2022 Electoral Act as amended is adhered to. In the planned general election, the Inclusive Friends Votability campaign will deploy carefully recruited and trained persons with disabilities who will be observing at their pre-assigned polling units and reporting to a data center through the use of technology in a near real-time experience. The 250 PWD observers are spread across the following states. They are going to be observing in Ondo, in Osun, in Ekiti, Lagos, Oyo, and Ogun. That's for the southwest region. Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, Zamfara, and Sokoto for the northwest region. Then Plateau for the north central and the FCT. Bauchi, Gombe, Adamawa, Taraba for the north. Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, that's for the south. And then Anambra, Abia for the southeast zone, and of course including the FCT. So our observers are going to be spread across 21 states. The barriers continue to make it impossible for us to have our voices and our spaces even in the political space. But when these barriers are addressed and are removed, persons with disabilities will lead a normal and an active life.
So what's our call to action? IFA Votability Campaign calls on all PWDs that are registered to vote and have their permanent voters card to go out en masse and vote for the candidates of their choice, primarily persons with disabilities who are contesting. IFA Votability Campaign calls on the police and other security agencies to protect all voters and election observers, especially those with disabilities. We are making a special appeal on behalf of the 250 observers with disabilities that we will deploy on the election day. We believe the rights of PWDs are human rights and are protected under our Constitution and international conventions.
What we will be tracking is issue of election violence and the potential for violence, and then basically what do we do with that? We document and then we escalate. and so that we can have appropriate responses from the security agencies. Out of the checklist with this developed to track this, we have a component from IFA right there, and we are happy that as we get this information real time, we will also be sharing with them.
We are happy to be with Inclusive Friends, to stress to members of the public and to the political class that they are Nigerians. They must be given space at the table. The voices of our brothers and sisters in this class must, be echoed, for everyone to hear, and that their votes should count.
Election observers from Ethiopia and Cameroon came for learnings with IFA on election processes and data gathering for PWDs in Nigeria. So I'm going to be speaking with two people who came all the way from Ethiopia just to learn how Nigeria actually would run this election. They came to learn. So I'll be speaking with two people that will introduce themselves, and we'll be getting to know why they decided to take the trip to come to Nigeria. To my right, let me start with the lady. What's your name?
Simrat Zanaba. I am from Ethiopia, from the organizations of Federation of Ethiopian Associations of Persons with Disabilities. We are here to have an experience from Nigerian election, because as Africa we expect that the election is inclusive of persons with disability. So we came here for experience sharing and for being an observant.
My name is Abayne Gujo. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm the Executive Director of the National Ethiopian Disability Federation. As you know, we hosted a year before national election in our country, and we tried our best to ensure inclusion of persons with disability in the electoral system. So how government is safeguarding for people with disabilities if such kind of things happen? We need to observe this and many more things. That's why we're here.
I think that we should compare notes. Given that Nigeria is more advanced when it comes to disability inclusion, I went into this partnership with Inclusive Friends Association so that I come and learn what you are doing here in terms of accommodations and adaptations for persons with disabilities in elections, in the electoral process.
IFA big on data collection. I speak with its data clerks. Hello guys, please introduce yourself. Let me start from my right side. What's your name?
All right, my name is Festus Ikechukwu Ospe. Yes.
I'm Alfred Kolade.
Okay, so right from the preparation of the elections, we're trying to gather all data that has to do with persons with disabilities, including how many persons with disabilities are voting, where they are voting, how many assistive materials have been deployed, and how many observers with persons with disabilities that will be observing the elections, because all these data are very important to inform future engagement with critical stakeholders such as INEC. So that's exactly what we are trying to do and analyze.
Yeah, it's very important because once we're able to gather the data, it helps for future engagement. It's an inclusive community whereby what a normal person would do, person with ability to has a right to do and not be criticized.
According to the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, about 70% of Nigerians who registered in the concluded continuous voter exercise for the February 2023 elections were vulnerable groups, including persons with disabilities. 30 million of Nigerians are living with disabilities. Of these large numbers, how many will have access to the polling units with relative ease? As Nigerians elect its next president, would there truly be accessibility for PWDs to cast their votes, bearing in mind that they represent a large number of the Nigerian population?